Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to you all to our e-MessyChurch today. One day, Jesus told his friends a story about a farmer who went to plant his seeds. Now, hard paths, rocky places, and also thorny bushes were commonplace in the farmland known to Jesus, and good soil could have been very patchy. So today, I'm going to enact this story here in my house for you to have a look at. Today, boxes represent the rocks and chairs, thorny bushes. The kitchen roll squares on the floor are the patches of good soil, and this is my seed, that's just macaroni. So while the farmer was planting, we are going to plant some. When the farmer was planting, some seed fell by the road, and that's just the floor, you can see it here. The birds came and ate all the seed, so nothing could grow. Some seed fell on rocky ground where there was not enough dirt, and that's the boxes you can see here. That seed grew very fast because the ground was not deep, but when the sun rose, the plants dried up because they did not have deep roots. Some other seed fell among thorny weeds, and that's, you can see the chairs here. The weeds grew and choked the good plants. Some other seed fell on good ground, and you can see that on the patches of toilet roll here. So some plants made 100 times more grain as they grew and became grain. Other plants made 60 times more grain, and some made 30 times more grain. That's how fruitful they were. So what did Jesus mean by this story? What is the seed that fell by the road? The seed is like the person who hears the teaching about the kingdom but does not understand it. The evil one comes and takes away the seeds that were planted in the person's heart. And what is the seed that fell on rocky ground on our boxes here today? That seed is like the person who hears the teaching and quickly accepts it with joy, but they do not let the teaching go deep into their life. They keep it only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the teaching they accepted, then they quickly give up. And what is the seed that fell among the thorny weeds? And that's on our chairs here. That seed is like the person who hears the teaching but lets worries about this life and love of money stop that teaching from growing. So the teaching does not produce fruit in that person's life. But what is the seed that fell on the good ground here? That seed is like the person who hears the teaching and understands it. That person grows and produces fruit, sometimes 100 times more, sometimes 60 times more, and sometimes 30 times more. Feel free to act this story out yourselves using whatever you've got at hand, or take part in today's activity prepared by Valerie.
Yulia told us the story that Jesus told to people about a man who sowed seeds in different sorts of ground. Some of the seeds grew very quickly. Some of the seeds grew big and strong and healthy, and some of the seeds didn't grow at all. Well, today we're going to sow a few mustard and cress seeds in different ways, and then look after them and hopefully watch them grow for the next 2 weeks, and then we can all eat homegrown salads. So let's just check that you've got all you need. You'll need some seeds, like that, either mustard or cress. You'll need some soil or compost, preferably damp. You'll need some sand, and it doesn't matter whether it's damp or dry. You'll need a few pieces of kitchen roll. And then you'll need some containers to put the seeds in. You can use clear plastic pots, or you can use bottle tops, little ones like that, or you can use lids from jars, or anything else that won't let the water out at the bottom. Don't use ordinary plant pots, just use plastic containers like those. You'll need a pair of scissors and a pencil, and you'll need some water in a small container. And you'll need at least 1 teaspoon and preferably a couple more for the sand and the compost. And if you've got one at home, a paper drinking straw, just a little piece cut off it, about 6 to 7 centimetres long. So to start with, we'll prepare our 3 containers. I'm just going to use the yellow lids because they're the easiest ones for you to see. But as I said before, you can use any sort of containers that you like. They don't all have to be the same. So we'll start with the either soil or compost, which needs to be a bit damp. And you can mix it up so that all the lumps disappear. If it's got lumps in, you'll find the seeds will fall off. So you take a little bit on your spoon, put it in there, and squidge it down a bit. That needs a bit more. And we do it on a tray so we don't make a mess on the floor. That needs a little bit more, but not very much. Right, you don't want it too high up, but you do want to cover all the base of your container. So that's the one with either soil or compost. Now we're going to do the one with sand. Now the sand I've got is still quite dry, and I'll show you how to add a little bit of water but not too much. So you put the sand in, some there, and some there, and you can see that's quite dry, it's moving around. Now if you just tip water in, you'll find it'll just go all squishy and you won't be able to plant anything in it. So what you do is you get your drinking straw, if you've got one, cut a little piece off, about 6 or 7 centimetres, and you're just going to pick up a tiny little bit of water. So you put that in there, put your finger over the top, and then hopefully it'll come out again. It works best when the drinking straw's a little bit soggy. So you pick it up, and there it comes out. So pick it up, move it across, take your finger off, and just 1 drop and another drop comes off. So that's 2 drops, and another 2. And can you see we're getting there? Okay, so you keep going until it's all damp, and the water will spread, so you can leave it for a couple of minutes if you want. So we'll leave that just to sort itself out, and we'll do the next one, which is the one with the kitchen roll. So you need just 1 sheet of kitchen roll, and you need to fold it into 4. Just fold it into half like that. If it's got a pattern on, make sure it's the white side on the outside. So you've got 4 thicknesses of kitchen paper. You're going to put your lid on there, and then you're just going to draw around the outside like this, so you've got a shape to cut out. You might not be able to see that very well, but it's there. So take your scissors and carefully cut out all 4 thicknesses of the kitchen paper. And then you've got, put that in the bin. You can put them on there. And then you can just put your water in, again, very carefully without getting them too wet. So we've got, in the different containers, we've got some compost or soil, some sand, and some kitchen paper. That's just to show you what they look like in the other containers. But we'll focus on these yellow ones for now. Now we're going to get the seeds, and when you have a packet of seeds, you have to open them very, very carefully, and you might need to get a grown-up to help you open them without spilling them everywhere. What I've done to help is to put some of them, not all of them, just some of them into a little bowl so I can pick them up more easily. Each packet of mustard seeds has 1,750 seeds, and you're not going to need all those. So what you have to do now is to just put a few seeds into each of the little containers. can do it quite thickly. You don't need to cover them up. You just leave them like that. That's on the sound. And those ones on the kitchen paper, put a few more on there. Right, so that's that. And now, if they need a little bit more water, you can do that just very carefully with the dropper. But I think, in fact, these ones have probably got enough water for now. And now you need to put them somewhere where they'll be safe and where they'll get some light and where you'll be able to water them every day. Now, you must remember to water them every day. If you haven't got a straw, or if you lose your straw, you can use the handle end of the spoon, just with a little bit on, and very carefully get it off like that. But it's better to do it with a straw. Now, if you like, you can take a picture when they start growing. You can take a picture every day, so you can tell how fast they're growing. And after 2 weeks, they might have grown enough to be harvested. And if you like, you can send your final picture to Julia so she can see what you've been doing. And then you can sow some more seeds.
Now we're going to finish with a song about all things bright and beautiful. Sing along with us.
All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. Each little flower that opens, each little bird that sings, He made the glowing colours, He made the tiny wings. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. The purple-headed mountain, the river running by, the sunset and the morning that brightens up the sky. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. The cold wind in the winter, the pleasant summer sun, the ripe fruit in the garden, He made them every one. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. He gave us eyes to see them and lips that we might tell how great is God Almighty, who has made all things well. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all.
Thank you for taking part in our e-MessyChurch. It's lovely to have this time together with you. For next week, you don't need to prepare anything. Everything will be prepared for you. So do come along for a surprise activity next week. In the meantime, have a great week and see you later. Bye.